Okay, welcome guys. This is Trevor, Coach Caressa, and we're just gonna review our alignments and our assignments so that we are all on the same page going into this weekend. I think we're gonna have a good time. We've looked really good in practice. Okay, defensive line. Just make sure that you know all of your all of our defensive line calls. Remember, if you ever hear me saying shift left or shift right, I want you to shift over because I feel like we're either going to get out leverage or the ball's going that way. Linebackers, make sure you know your your blitz calls. Okay, we're mostly going to blitz the Sam and the whip. Remember that if we exchange, you have to tell the defensive end to exchange. And you're just going to exchange gaps, and then smoke is where you're going to blitz, and the defensive end is going to bump out or drop into coverage. Okay. Remember, if you ever hear me saying bump, that means I want you to go left or right because I feel like we're getting out leveraged. All right. The coverage is always cover 3 when we're in our 5-man front. If we are ever blitzing a man, this means eyes. What does that mean? Okay. So if we are blitzing the Sam, okay, so let's say the Sam is coming off right here. That means we are vulnerable in this curl flat area. So the mic and the whip, okay, you guys have to be super aware that if we're blitzing here, okay, and the quarterback turns his eyes and shoulders this way, the mic, you got to get all the way over into this curl flat, and the whip, you got to get all the way over into this hole. Okay? And then it works the other way as well, right? So if we're blitzing the whip here, okay, and the quarterback's eyes and shoulders go here, the mic, you got to go. Sam, you got to go too. You guys really just got to get on. You guys got to start sprinting into that zone. Okay, sprint first, find second. Okay, so but remember when we're on our base, we don't have to do that. Okay, for DBs, soft alignment. This is when I tap the top of my head. That means I want you guys to start back. This will usually be like 3rd and long or 4th and long or something like that. That's for the linebackers as well. Okay, so if we're in soft, the Sam and the whip, where you would normally be at 4 yards, I'll want you at like 6 or 8. Okay, press. Okay, just means I want you closer to the line, starting on the line of scrimmage, and then we have our goal line call. Okay, let's get over it. These are our base alignment rules. We have not been aligning correctly. Okay, I remember that everything changes when there's trips and quads. Okay, so for the linebackers, things change when there's trips and quads, particularly the Sam and the whip, right? In trips, you're inside of number 2. All right, trips away, you're in a 40 tech. Okay, quads, if quads is to your side, you're still inside of number 2, but quads away, you're in a 0 tech. All right, that's something that we can get better at. That was exposed a little bit last Saturday. Okay, but yeah, memorize these. We've done a pretty good job, but we can tighten it up. All right, our alignment and run fits. For the defensive line, it's always going to be the same. The corners, you're always going to align over the number 1s. In a 2x2 split. The Sam and the whip, you're going to apex, and then the safety, you're always going to divide the number 1s, right? And remember, we're going to be on a football field safety, or we're going to be on the high school field, so you know never to cross the hashes, right? You're always staying outside of the hashes, okay? Corners, remember, if the number 1 is on or inside the numbers, then play outside leverage. Okay, if the number 1 is outside the numbers, then play inside leverage. Okay, and this is a big one, guys. If your number 1 is attached, you're 2 by 6 outside the end man on the line. I'll get to this later, but we made a mess of that. So, like in this formation here on Saturday, okay, for some reason you corners were sitting way out here. Okay, you're of no use to me out here. You're not even a flat player. You're a deep third player. So you want to start out here and try to get all the way out here. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? So if your number 1 is attached, you're 2 by 6. You're basically right behind 2 yards, right behind the whip. Remember the whip, he is a seam slant flat player. So this flat belongs to the whip out here. Okay, you have everything over here in the deep third. All right, so that's why we have you stack like that. Okay, so that's just something to remember. Okay, so let's keep going through it. So this is just our 2x2 split. All right, pretty simple. Remember, if the number 2 is attached, then the end bumps out to a 6 tech, and then that puts the SAM or the whip in a 2x4. Okay, everyone else is the same. Same thing if they come out in a 2x2 ace formation, which just means the number 2s are attached as tight ends. We have 2 6 techs here, and then our SAM and our whip are 2x4. All right, pretty easy. Okay, trips. We did not do a good job of this from the linebackers, particularly our outside linebackers. So the SAM or the outside linebacker is inside the number 2. Okay, the safety is inside number 3. Now, what this doesn't show is that I want this corner up on the line of scrimmage, and then you can bail. Okay, so anytime we're in trips, I want the corner up on the line of scrimmage so we can bail that, because what we're going to see a lot of in these tournaments are these bubble routes. Okay, so I want you up on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so that if you're right here, you'll have an easier time of getting to that. Okay, so linebackers, remember the backside linebacker, you're always in a 40 tech. The Mike, you're always in a 40 tech as well. The Mike, so this is Marcus, you have my permission to cheat out to the number 3. Okay, especially if you are suspecting, some sort of bubble or something like that, then you have my permission to cheat out, because you are an A gap to D gap player. Plus you have help from the whip. Okay, so you can cheat really as much as you want, as much as you feel comfortable. Okay, and remember on the backside, okay, you have this corner, you're still deep third, okay, and you should have, if this guy runs a slant, hopefully we have help from the whip here. But otherwise, you are man. Okay, so we're just asking you to go out there and win. Okay, same thing with Trey. Okay, Trey is when the number 3 is attached. Inside number 2, this corner would actually be up. Okay, we have a 40 tech, and inside number 3. Okay, easy enough. All right, we saw this and we played it pretty well. Okay, so in the event that they come out in quads or they motion to quads, okay, remember the SAM or the whip, depending on who it is. Sam, you're still inside number 2, and we always assume that the running back is going to move to number 2. So you have to get outside of this H. So normally in your first alignment, you would have been here. You just have to get on the outside edge right here. Okay, that's the most important part. Get to that outside edge. Same thing with the safety. So the safety, you would normally be right here inside the number 3. Okay, the moment you see that guy go in motion, you assume now that this is the number 3 and you have to get inside of this number 3. Okay, now big thing here is the whip. You start in a 40 tech and you have to bump over to a 0-0 tech. Okay, and the Mike, you would start in that 40 and now you're bumping over inside of number 4 or inside of the first wide receiver here. Okay, now when this bumps over, it makes it very difficult for this whip to come and help on this slant. Okay, so what does that mean? It means you are now, this cornerback here, you are now man-to-man. You have all of this Z wide receiver out here. Okay, so just something to be aware of. So if this Z runs a slant, you're not going to have any help. You need to drive on that immediately. Okay, the reason why is because this is your only threat to your deep third. You have no other threats because the running back's on the other side. Okay, so you can come up, you can press man, you can do whatever you want, but that's just all of you. Okay, all right, so we saw this again. Remember, this is the 3x1 where the number 1 is attached. So this is the number 1. So the corner, I don't want you out here. You're of no use to me out there. Okay, I want you 2x6 outside of this number 1. So you're basically behind the whip. Now the reason being, okay, is you only have 2 potential threats to your deep third zone. Okay, it's this Z wide receiver and it's this R. Okay, so if this Z goes out like that, well, that's the whip's job, right? Because he's a seam slant flat player. So if he goes out to the flat, the whip's going to go with him. All right. Now, your only threat is this running back, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to try and run like a wheel, that's going to be a real hard route for him. But, that's your only threat. Okay. The point being corners, this backside corner. If this man pass sets, okay, and this pass sets, or he doesn't come out of the backfield, or he runs a flare, you have no threats from the Z or the running back. So you now need to get your eyes across the field looking for a cross route. This is called foxing the post or closing the post. Okay? So again, your number 1 threat is this Z if he goes vertical like this. Okay? Hopefully we get a reroute right here by the whip and then you just take him vertical. Okay? But if this Z runs like an out or just pass sets and this R stays in the backfield, he can run this. He can also, try to block something like that. You have no threats to this side of the field. You have 0 threats. Okay? So now you want to start drifting to the center and you want to start looking for one of these cross routes. One of these, I guarantee you, is going to cross on the backside. And if you get your eyes on the quarterback and you start drifting over, you can get an easy pick right here, okay? There's a situation where that happened on Saturday, and we'll go over that, okay? Okay, remember, if they come out in power I, or this is also known as 22 personnel, same thing, okay? We're in 6 eyes, defensive ends. We're 2x4, and then we're just stacking right here, okay? The corners. Now here, this corner, you're basically going to be man here. So if you want to press him, do whatever you want up there, that's your call. Sometimes we will what's called walk these guys up here on the line of scrimmage. Okay, and then you're just going to walk with them. So then you would just come up and stay right behind them. Okay, you're still corners. Your number 1 threat is this H going vertical. It's really your only threat. Okay, that's your number 1 threat. So that's what you're looking for. Okay. If this H stays in pass blocks, if this H comes out, the Sam would get him. Now we got to get our eyes up and we're looking for work, right? We're looking for a post here, right? If that, something like that, right? Something else that I think I saw on Saturday is this guy pass set. And this guy came over and ran a post. Okay. So this is a great opportunity. We're man out here, because he's going to be in his deep third. We have a deep third here, and then we're squeezing over here to try and intercept this ball. Okay, so it's about understanding where your threats are and where the ball might go. Okay, so this is just a visual representation of our cover 3, and this is a visual representation of our cover 3 against trips. Okay, one thing that I think we might see is 3x2, which is empty. Okay. Where we are vulnerable and empty is to this 2 wide receiver side over here. Okay. So what I would prefer in empty is I probably wrote this down wrong is Marcus. I actually want you to cheat over here. Maybe just line it right in the center. And you're just going to read the quarterback's eyes. Okay? If the quarterback comes this way, then you got to get your eyes up. Try to identify the routes over here. If the quarterback comes this way, get your eyes up. Remember, we would be pressing here because it's on the trip side. So we're playing trips to the trip side, right? So we have the cornerback on the line of scrimmage. We have this inside number 2. We have inside number 3. And then to the right, we just have a seam slant flat, seam slant flat. This is wrong. It should say seam. So if this guy goes vertical, okay, we're going to get a reroute. and then get our eyes to 1. If we get 2 verticals here, then we're going to divide, okay? And Marcus, you're just reading the eyes of the quarterback. All right. Okay. Goal line, okay? Goal line is really easy, guys. The number 1s are going to be Meg. That stands for man everywhere he goes. It just means man. And I want you pressing up on the line. We're going to automatically check into goal line anytime the other team gets in within the 7-yard line, okay? The other 2 adjustments is the number 2 is going to be manned by our outside linebackers. And the safety, you come up in a 40 tech with the mic, and you play A-gap to edge. A-gap to edge. The key thing here, guys, is you have no help. Okay, so if they run the ball out here, you do not have help from these guys because they're man. So if these guys run like a route right here, their backs are going to be turned. Okay, so you have to get all the way over and make this tackle. Same thing over here, Marcus. If they come this way, you have to come all the way over. It's a foot race. Okay, if it is a pass, all right, any route by this R is taken by the safety. And then Marcus or whoever's on this side, you're just spying the quarterback in case the quarterback runs, then you just go tackle. Okay? So I'll let you guys go through. Oh, yeah, we'll go through this. So anytime there's a motion, remember this, you guys act as a chain. Okay? The Sam, the Mike, the safety, and the Will. You guys all act as a chain. Okay? So if he goes in motion, now the whip, you come into a 40 tech. All right, this is wrong. Sorry. You are now spying the quarterback. I'm sorry, you are now matched on the running back. The Sam, you come over here to a 40 tech. You are now spying the quarterback. Okay, and then the Mike's going to come out and pick up this H out here. And that's how we're going to do that. Okay, so remember, you're all on a chain. All right, and it's the same if it goes this way. So if the Y goes out, okay, we all move this way. All right, we got to communicate. Okay. All right. Always in goal line, if the number 2 is attached, we walk, which means you are on the line of scrimmage, outside leverage, and you're press man on the Y. Okay. Okay, trips, it's the same thing. Biggest thing here is if they start in trips, the safety, you're just going to go up and press man on the number 3. The Mike and the whip are in 40 techs. Okay, same thing. This is Trey. So the Sam, you're now walking up on this Y. Remember, if this is a handoff that goes this way, this Mike, you got to come all the way around to make that tackle. All right, we're going to see a lot of this on the goal line, I think. Anytime that the running back motions, we're not going to be on a chain. Whoever's responsible for the running back in the coverage is just going to follow that motion. Okay, so normally in this situation, we would be a 40 tech here, a 40 tech. This is the Will. This is the Mike. As soon as that guy goes in motion, you go with him, and then the whip, you just bump into the 0-0. You're spying the quarterback in case the quarterback tries to run, or whatever the quarterback wants to do there. Okay. Okay, this is power I. Big thing here again is this is the safety and the corner. Your 2x4 here outside. Okay, because we're gonna walk the Sam and the Will, or in the whip. Okay, so that's all that. Let's go over quarters. This is our match quarters. We only have 4 down linemen. Okay, we have 3 linebackers and then 2 safeties. Okay, match quarters, guys, is super easy. Okay, the reason why it's so easy is because the corners, they meg the number 1. All that means is Meg stands for man everywhere he goes. All that means is he is locked on the number 1 wherever the number 1 goes. Okay. So now we only have to worry about the number 2 and the number 3. Okay. So the safety, you match the vertical of number 2. If number 2 does not go vertical, then you're just, I'll teach you here, but you're a deep half player. Okay. The Sam and the Will, you match number 2 out. All right. If number 2 doesn't go out, then you're just a curl flat player. And then the Mike, you match number 3 or who becomes number 3. And then if there is no number 3, then you're just a hole player. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is how we start it. Okay, so the 2 safeties, you're always going to be inside of the number 2. Okay, the cornerbacks, your press man on the number 1. Or Sam, Mike, and Whip, you have your normal alignment rules. Okay, we'd be apexed here, we'd be apexed here. All right. Okay, so let's start on this left side here. If this Y goes out, what's the rule? The Sam matches anything out. So now the Sam, that's you. Okay? So the moment this route declares out, you go get him. Now this is different from cover 3. Remember, in cover 3, we never chase out. But we do in quarters. So you just got to remember that. Now this safety, okay, you no longer have a number 2 threat to this side of the field. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to close the post. This is called foxing the post. Okay? So once this number 2 goes out, and that's the Sam's job, now you're going to come and you're going to close the post. So you're going to be looking for some sort of post on this backside. All right? If there is no post, okay, which is common, now you're going to be looking to cut what this is called cutting 1. So close the post, cut 1. It's also called fox the post, cut 1. Okay, so first your eyes come over to this side of the field, and you want to take away this center of the field. If there's no threat to the center of the field, now you want to get your eyes back to this 1 to see if he's coming inside. All the while maintaining really good vision on the quarterback. Okay, this is where you're going to get the majority of your picks in match quarters. It's where your number 2 is not a threat, so you're free to be what's called a robber. You're just free. Okay, now let's go to the other side. Okay, if this number 2 goes vertical, okay, hopefully the Whip, okay, we'll get a nice little reroute here, and then you're just man to man on this number 2 as he goes vertical. All right. After the Whip, okay, reroutes this number 2, you're just a curl flat player. You're just right here. Your main threat is this running back coming out of the backfield. Okay. That's it. Now, what would the Mike do in this situation? Okay. The Mike, you would just be dropping into this hole right here. And first you would look to wall anyone coming inside. Okay, and if that's not there, now you're getting your eyes up and you're looking for this A to come out of the backfield. So if this A comes out of the backfield, so let's say that we have a vertical here. Okay, this corner is Meg, so you're following. And we have a vertical here. We get a nice reroute. Okay, this safety is going to match that. Now, you're going to move into this area, be a curl flat. If this A comes over, then you'll be moving over into this area too. So if they throw it to the A here, we have the Mike coming here and the Will coming here to make a tackle. That's what that would look like. Okay. Okay. In trips, again, it's easier because we are megging the number 1s. So the number 1s, we don't even have to worry about them. Okay. The corners are just going to take them. Okay, so now we only have to worry about this number 2, this number 3, and then this running back. Okay, so number 2, you are responsible for any out route here. Okay, by the number 1 or the number 2. This could be a bubble. It could be a bubble here. It could be a bubble here. Okay, so another way to think about it for you outside linebackers is this is your area right here. You're like a curl flat player. All right. All right, so this safety right here, you're over this number 2. If he goes vertical, you match anything vertical. It's pretty simple, okay? Now, you're saying, okay, so what happened if he doesn't go vertical? That's a good question. So if the H maybe runs a bubble here, same thing, okay? Now you're going to get your eyes to number 3 going vertical, okay? So that's your first. And then your second is to get your eyes back to this X for whatever he's doing. It's usually going to be either like a 9 or a cut. Okay. All right. Now, what makes this special in trips when we're in match quarters is this whip right here. Okay. If this A comes out, that's all you. That's 100% your man. You have to go with him. Okay. Now the Mike and the whip, you guys are both the Mike. You're a wall 3 player, okay? So you are going to wall the first inside route. It doesn't matter who it is, and you're going to sink underneath and just get your eyes on the quarterback. Okay, so you're a wall 3 player. All right. So if this guy does this, all right. You're going to collision right here, and then you're just going to sink underneath, get your eyes on the quarterback. All right, more often than not, it's going to be this guy. The number 1 route that I saw last year is this number 1 would run a 9, this Y would run a bubble, and then this H would run a slant. Okay, so how do we defend that, right? Well, the corner is megging the number 1, so that's easy. The Sam right here is going to match this out by the Y, and that just leaves the H. Okay, so the H isn't quite vertical yet, so we would have the safety coming over the top, right? And then you're playing underneath, so you'd get a collision here, and then play underneath, get your eyes on the quarterback. If he throws it this way, that's a pick. Okay, now the backside safety, you are cross-reading number 3. All right, so if this number 3 goes vertical, you are going to take all of number 3 vertical. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. If number 3 does not go vertical, then you have 2 options. Okay, you can sit in this deep hole and look for a second vertical route. Okay, or you can get your eyes back to this side of the field to see what's going on. Okay, so typically what we teach is if number 3 doesn't go vertical, that's fine. Okay, look for this post. All right, if for some reason, so we're closing that post again, right? We're closing the post. And then once we close the post, get your eyes back across to cut number 1. Okay. All right, that's it, guys. So I'm telling you right now, if we can get aligned correctly and everyone does their assignments, we're gonna shut every team out because we have the talent to do it and everyone's really good. Okay, but it's all about our alignment and assignment. So please, memorize our base alignment rules. This is our 5-man front cover 3. Okay, memorize the goal line. Okay, and then match quarters, I don't think we're going to play a lot of match quarters. Okay, I really don't. But match quarters is the easiest defense. Okay, because you really only have like 2 responsibilities. It's really about just awareness. Okay.